Hello YouTube. I just received my order from Big Leaf Orchids and I wanted to share with you the 4 orchids that I ordered. All 4 of the orchids are primary hybrids of the genus Phalaenopsis. So they are all at least one of the 2 hybrids, one of the 2 species Phalaenopsis that are in each of the primary hybrids is fragrant. So let's start with the one that's I suppose the most attention getting at this point. This guy is a cross between venosa and corningiana, and the moment I took it out, I smelled it because I've been wanting to smell corningiana for the longest time, ever since I read about it. And it does smell nice, even though it was in a box. And you don't really expect Phalaenopsis to smell unless they've been hit by the warm sun. It did have a fragrance, so that's a good sign. So this guy is actually called Phalaenopsis Dragon's Fire, and it is absolutely beautiful. I love this guy so much. I'm glad I got it. It smells nice, and it has 3 spikes, and let's see if it actually has more coming on. No, it looks like 3. It's that's still a lot for such a young plant. So it's I love it. It's so beautiful, and it smells nice. I love the colors and the. Do you see the? Let's see. I don't know if the petals are actually showing up as well as it is and as beautiful as it is in real life, but it is really pretty. It's a combination of yellows and reds and browns and oranges and pinks. It's beautiful. Absolutely love that one. And this next one over here is a cross between Phalaenopsis pallens and corningiana once again. Yep. So this guy actually maybe has a basil keiki, because Phalaenopsis pallens is known to get basil keikis. So that's good. And this guy actually has at least 1 spike. I think it might have 2. I don't remember. Actually, yeah, it has 2 spikes. And come on, get out of there. All of these plants, by the way, came in really great shape, and I repotted them. They were packaged really nicely as well. The flowers and the spikes were very nicely protected. The flower has no damage on it whatsoever, so that's really nice. And they were actually grown in sphagnum moss, and whenever I see sphagnum moss on orchids, especially Phalaenopsis, it drives me crazy because it kills all the roots. But Big Leaf Orchids did a really good job. They actually, the roots were beautiful. I was so surprised. But I did repot it in bark, and the top part over here is only coconut husk, because it's easier to water, because bark, I don't pre-moisten them. I don't pre-moisten the bark, so it sort of wants to float up when I put it in a container of water to soak it. So it makes it easier just for the few first few months for the bark to properly get conditioned. This guy over here is also in beautiful shape. I love it so much. They did such a great job growing these things. I'm so happy with them. It's a primary cross between Phalaenopsis bellina, which is the fragrant one, but this is the alba variety, and equestris, which also the alba variety, and the name of the Phalaenopsis is KS minitris. There's another version of this orchid, except both of the parents are not the alba form, but the normal form. So that's also called KS minitris, but it's bellina and equestris, the normal standard types. Even though I've seen several different types of equestris, it's the one I actually personally own is not what I usually see equestris as pictured. But anyways, this is the last one. This guy is the reason I actually placed the order to begin with. It is a cross between wilsonii and javanica. I've heard that javanica is difficult to flower, or it takes for the plant to mature quite a bit before it flowers. And wilsonii is actually a cool growing Phalaenopsis, so it sort of would prefer conditions like a Miltoniopsis. You don't want it to get above what was it, 85 degrees. So that's why wilsonii, the actual species, might be a little difficult to grow for the average home grower, but javanica is actually a warm to hot grower. So this cross, I don't know, maybe a way to bypass the the difficulty of growing either of the species by itself. But I saw a wilsonii in orchid display in the orchid show this month, and I smelled it. It was in the dark, like you might expect an orchid display to be in, but it had such a strong fragrance. And not only was the fragrance strong, it was very intoxicating. I absolutely became obsessed with the fragrance after I smelled it, so I had to have it, and I searched everywhere for wilsonii, but nobody had it. Actually, I think Orchid Web had a cross between wilsonii and tetraploid version of which one was that? Aphrodite, I think. I wanted to get I was just sort of contemplating between that one and this, but I went with this one because it had the KS minitris, because I really wanted that one as well, because as you know, equestris it has a lot of good qualities about it. It is very floriferous. So and it's the cross minitris. It's known to be very floriferous. It blooms for many months, actually, 1 or 2 flowers at a time, but it continues to bloom for a long time. So I have been looking for that one, and that guy, the normal version, not the alba version, is available on Norman's Orchids, or it's also called orchids.com. But it's kind of unreasonably expensive. I would never pay that much for one orchid. Well, I might, but not yet. I'm not that serious of a collector yet. So this guy actually was $35. What was it? This guy was again Dragon's Fire. Yeah, the Dragon's Fire and the minitris were each $35, I believe, and the other 2 are each $25. I don't know, the prices are a bit high for Phalaenopsis, but still, I believe they're very special plants, and they were very nicely taken care of. So I am willing to pay a little extra to receive plants that are, in good shape, has nice roots and everything. As you will see, I did repot all of them. Let's see if I can show you some of the roots. There you go. I didn't have to cut much off at all. Actually, the only one that had kind of not such great roots was the wilsonii cross, but it has a few new roots growing, so it's okay. So all in all, I do recommend Big Leaf Orchids to you guys. They seem to be very good with, and they are very good about packing, and the way they grow their orchids is very nice. And I ordered these last Wednesday. They all I think they only ship Mondays and Tuesdays, so they make sure that the orchids aren't stuck in the post office over the weekend. I think most online nurseries do that, but still, these guys came really nicely packed. The flower was, it was individually wrapped, and I can't say enough good things about the company. So if you are thinking about ordering anything from them, just go for it. You won't regret it. And if you're wondering what this guy is back here, it's my bottle of alcohol. Rubbing alcohol. I use it to sterilize my scissors and other tools for orchids. It's an air wick bottle. I popped the wick part out and I put the alcohol in it, and it's a Q-tip in there that I use, and the cap, it fits perfectly together, and it's tiny, it works well. So that's all I wanted to show you guys. I know that the other ones are not blooming yet, but they do have spikes. I think I didn't tell you, the miniaturist has 2 spikes as well, and a new leaf growing. By the way, this guy, the tiny one, wilsonii crossed with javanica, is called Kathy's Dream, or Kathy Dream. This guy doesn't have any spikes yet, but it is mature. It's just a miniature orchid. I believe it should flower. It should flower maybe soon. I don't know what season it flowers in. But anyways, I'm happy with my order, and thank you for watching. Maybe I should show you my Sidereya japonica. Here is the Sidereya japonica that I purchased 2 months ago now, almost. Maybe not quite, but it's in full bloom and it smells wonderful. I think the flowers are so delicate and cute. They're tiny. They're so tiny. Yeah, can you believe it's related to a Vanda? Anyways, remember, this guy smells just unbelievable. I love that guy. And the Phalaenopsis is reaching for the stars. It's really, the spike is really growing fast now. Hopefully it'll pop up a bud on the tip soon. And about my, I ordered these 2 guys. They're actually, they are, gosh, I forgot the name. Honeysuckle. Yeah, it's not Japanese honeysuckle, which is known to be very invasive. This is actually native ones. This guy is called Sensational, I believe. It has buds already, if you can believe. It's not for me personally. I'm gonna plant it in my parents' house. Don't mind the door. It's not my house. It is my house, but it's been like that when it was like that when we moved in. It's the apartment. Anyways, the white ginger lily is really growing up fast, and the lemon you see behind there, I grew it from a seed. And last but not least, I wanted to tell you guys that this gardenia, it's called, what was the name of this guy? This guy is called Gardenia Amy. Its flowers are so fragrant. All gardenias are fragrant, but this guy, this big guy, has, you can really smell it all throughout the house almost, and even with the low humidity, and the flowers turn yellow. The fragrance, I thought that all gardenias have the same fragrance, but that guy down there does not smell the same as this guy up here. So I suppose I learned something new. I thought I knew everything there was to know about gardenias. By the way, gardenias actually do like acidic soil. They're kind of picky about growing. A lot of people have a difficult time with them, and they like acidic soil. They like acidic fertilizer. I managed to kill one. I fertilized it with an organic fertilizer, and I don't know how it ended up dying, but these guys actually also like their roots to be very well aerated. Lots of perlite mixed with peat moss is the best way, like 50-50 mix of that. I've kept two before that for quite a few years, and that was the mix I used for that. The one that died, I didn't actually mix it. It was my husband bought it, and I don't know, I shouldn't have put the fertilizer in it, perhaps. They definitely do not like wet roots. So many of these blooms are opening up. It's absolutely beautiful, and it smells wonderful. Just love it. And all of these buds are still going to open. And remember the Phalaenopsis? It's still not in bloom, but its spike is still undamaged, thank goodness. And the other Phalaenopsis spike down there, it's getting bigger. You can definitely see the buds. So that's great. And back there is my Dendrobium Hamana Smile, and you can see that it's getting new growths right there. You can see that it's getting new roots, and there's a bit of a brown thing that's popping out. That's a new growth coming out. So I'm glad that it's taking hold of the pot, because it actually was bare root when I purchased it. So, oh, come on, get in there. Alright, so, and this guy is the Cattleya lutamania, the species Cattleya. It's I'm expecting it to bloom again, at least 1 or 2 flowers, because there was a few 1 or 2 pseudobulbs that hadn't bloomed yet. My rose back there, I neglected. When you have too many plants, this is what happens. But it's getting new tips, even though I forgot to water it. Actually, it's not that I forgot to water it, it's that the pot, I need to repot it into a bigger pot so the water doesn't dry up quicker than all my other plants, which I will do soon. I'm actually still expecting my 3 plants from Top Tropicals. They might come in either today or tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to repot those. Maybe I'll repot a whole bunch of stuff together, at the same time. I bought new soil, you can see back there. It's pit moss and vermiculite. I usually use perlite, but Ray from the Praxis channel and Voodoo Garden mentioned that vermiculite is just as useful, so I would like it to not float away like perlite does. This guy here, I planted this as a cutting off of this mother plant over here. This is jasmine sambac, made of Orleans. So it has a very nice fragrance and it blooms on and off all year round. It has a very clean fragrance, and this is the jasmine they use to make jasmine tea. So that tiny little cutting is actually, it has a bud, it's gonna bloom, so that's great. I need to clean this guy up. You see so many of the dead leaves from my eBay Spanish moss has fallen into this. But that's just an excuse. I need to actually clean all of this up. Yeah, I really have more important things to do right now, but it sucks to be a plant lover and still have other stuff to do, right? I wish I could just deal with plants all day, but that's not the case. But yeah, I can't wait for this guy to bloom. Still waiting. And oh, there's that other spike. This guy right here. That the new stylus spike is getting bigger and bigger, which is awesome. I brought a few of the Phalaenopsis orchids out of my grow box. It's much warmer in there than it is out here, and warmer temperatures usually encourage Phalaenopsis to grow their leaves and basically vegetative growth. And cooler temperatures around 75 degrees or so, they tend to spike, and I want them to spike now because they're in pretty good shape. Anyways, as you can see, I cut off all of the spikes that only had 1 or 2 flowers, except for the fragrant ones. And I put them in the grow box to go back on the vegetative growth phase. And I brought out the ones that were not flowering for quite a while, and hopefully they'll spike. Alright, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Bye.